Hey, what's up, guys? Earlier on, I posted a video about the interview of the public protector. Well, here's the blueprint.
Good afternoon, Advocate Kalega.
Good afternoon, Honorable Maganisha.
Chair, I must declare that I do know Advocate Kalega since the time I was in the executive, and we also work together in the committee. She reports to the committee.
Noted.
Thank you very much. Advocate Kalega, how has the NPA honed you for the work you are doing now?
Would you kindly repeat that?
How has the NPA prepared you for the work you are doing now?
Firstly, as a prosecutor, you are vested with prosecutor-guided investigations. So in respect of conducting and guiding investigations, not necessarily the field work of investigations, there is a lot of work that prosecutors do in that respect. But also as prosecutors, you work with communities, you go into communities, conducting education, awarenesses, outreaches into communities. I even used to train doctors on medical legal work. I used to train the police on investigations, and I also used to do training within the National Prosecuting Authority. But most importantly is the issue of performance management. I used to be in the national committee that dealt with performance management. So when there's a crisis in any of the offices throughout the country, I used to even chair that committee where we would go and assist and put in place interventions in terms of performance management. But most importantly, it's in respect of litigation.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And how has legal advising ministers helped you or honed you or prepared you for this role?
Firstly, it's to understand the public service much better, because in the NPA you don't deal much with administration, but it was for me to understand administration, for me to understand the role of an executive authority, but also the role of the executive authority in the form of the PFMA as an accounting authority, but basically on the reflections of the interface between the executive authority and the institution itself.
Do you believe that either the public protector or the investigator should take oath of office before they resume their work? If so, why so? If not so, why?
I strongly believe so. I think more than the constitutional and the legal imperatives that are there to uphold ethics, it is important that the public protector and the deputy public protector take oath of office. In fact, it is one of our proposals in the Public Protector Act. And the reason for that is to inculcate that culture of ethical conduct, of being truthful, and to perform the duties in line with the Constitution and the laws of the Republic. And where staff is concerned, I also believe that they should. And what we have done in the meantime to mitigate that, last year in October, we made staff members to actually sign a pledge to serve the people of South Africa truthfully, with integrity, to be responsible, to be accountable. And I have also just recently signed the ethics policy, which has been produced by the institution, where we are inculcating the ethics code in line with the Venice principles, which is the principles on the protection and the promotion of the ombudsman offices.
Okay. We know that we have a Public Protector Act that predates the Constitution.
Indeed.
And I think you have had time to apply yourselves on what needs to be changed.
Indeed.
So can you give me 5 areas, General, that you think that the legislature and the executive should assist to initiate the legislation to amend the Public Protector Act?
We've actually already, Honorable Makondishe, submitted to the Department of Justice the proposals, and some of the proposals that we've put in place is the one of the oath of office, but the other one is to make a clear distinction between the public protector as the incumbent and the public protector as the institution. And furthermore, it is to align the Public Protector Act with the PFMA, where it clearly stipulates that the CEO is the accounting officer of the Public Protector. And furthermore, we make proposals regarding the whistleblowers, where we are putting in place more mechanisms where the Public Protector can assist with the protection of the whistleblowers. And the other factor, which is very critical to the independence of the Public Protector, is the funding model of the Public Protector, to ensure that we do have a separate vote as the Public Protector. There's several studies, there's the new National Party, but also there's the Global Standards of National Human Rights Institutions that speaks on the funding part being a critical component when it comes to the independence of the Public Protector.
Thank you, Advocate Kalega. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Janchi. Thank you, Chair. Advocate Kalega, you can take the water. You've been speaking non-stop. Maybe the first point to raise, because I think a lot of my questions have been taken and you've responded to them even before you were asked. The first point to make, perhaps on a lighter note, out of these 8 candidates that we're interviewing, you seem to be the youngest of them, all of them. So if you are successful in this position, you're likely to be the youngest public protector. How does that make you feel?
Firstly, I think it would be something that, just not for me as a feeling, but it would be a statement to the country that younger leadership is what this country actually needs. The developing countries are becoming younger. It's only African countries that remain older, but also that
It's no reflection on us. Please ignore them, go ahead.
but firstly, that particularly an institution such as the Public Protector, it requires energy, it requires innovation, it requires creativity, but it also requires acceptance of the two contradictions between the young and the old, and be able to find middle ground in those in order to take the institution forward.
And being a woman in a masculine society?
Being a woman, yeah, it's a difficult one. Because my philosophy is that as women, you always have to work thrice as much as men work, you know. And I normally say, look at the corruption that has taken place in our country. Mostly it's men who have carried out that corruption, but it never goes into the name of men. Every man is taken as an individual, but a woman is taken as a collective. When things go wrong with a woman, it is then put onto each and every woman. So as a woman, basically what it means is that I need to ensure that I prove myself in order to affirm the leadership of women.
Maybe just to then conclude that this lighter note matter, I want to take you back. You would have been much younger then when you're dealing with the Mhluli case. And I want you to tell us, in your belief of doing things without fear, without favor, and without prejudice, what really was your hope when you drove that, and consistently so, knowing that you're dealing with a highly placed head of crime intelligence?
You know, interestingly, when I came into contact with that docket, it had 5 statements in it, and I didn't know whom or what I was dealing with. There was no name of the suspect. Guided the investigations, and 3 months later, when the docket came back, that's when I found out basically whom and what I was dealing with. But for me, it was to ensure that justice is done. I must be honest, it's one of the most emotional cases that I've ever dealt with, where you've actually seen how public power can actually be advanced and instill fear in families that are poor, a family that doesn't know where to go and how to go. And for me was to ensure that justice is done, but so that people can believe that indeed all are equal in this country, no matter what position one holds.
Thank you. I want to go back to the Mail and Guardian case you told us about. And in that, I want to just situate Jafta J in him talking about this open inquiry mind, where he says you need to be open to all possibilities. But he creates these two contrasts, that you must have the mind that is not unduly suspicious, at the same time a mind that is not unduly believing. I want you to take that and place that in the Phala Phala investigation. Did that really materialize?
Indeed it did. It did materialize, because in the Phala Phala investigations, when I took it over, when I started acting, I made sure that I allow the investigators to do their work. First and foremost, in line with the Public Protector Act, I made sure that I take the necessary steps to ensure that there's independence, there's impartiality in the matter, and the matter is being dealt with without any prejudice to any party. There was one investigator into the matter. I strengthened the investigations. I included a senior investigator. I made sure that the executive manager responsible for the branch has oversight over the matter, and that the current CEO, who was the current COO, who was the acting COO at the time, made sure that she had direct oversight in that matter. But that I, as the acting public protector, receive that matter in terms of our standard operating procedures and investigative guides as an escalation. Not at any point have I gone down to find out what is happening.
Okay guys, I'm not gonna finish this video for obvious reasons. This is a blueprint. You can go and watch it out for yourself. Everybody else, if they had an opportunity to know how to answer the questions in this interview, Galega was the blueprint for them to copy from. However, it's fortunate for us as citizens in that it's done on the same day. It's unfortunate for them because they would have been copycats. She's head and shoulders above the rest, without a doubt, in terms of these interviews. And of course, you would know that I've criticized her on the Phala Phala report. We stand on two different grounds, but I regard myself as an objective person. Objectively, my assessment of these interviews, obviously, she's the automatic candidate to ascend to the throne of the public protector. Okay, I'm checking out. Do not forget to like the video. Like. If you have not subscribed yet, subscribe and then share the video. Ciao, ciao.